Great morning, great morning, great morning. I am Nicole D. Jones, and I am just happy and grateful for another day. I'm happy and grateful for life. I tell you every week, I don't take days for granted. I don't take life for granted. I don't take you for granted. So I'm happy and I'm grateful for you. And I want to remind you that you are healthy, you are wealthy, and you are prosperous. Everything your hands go to touch, it must, it shall, and it will manifest, prosper, and grow great things because you are great, okay? You're created out of greatness. We are created out of greatness. And I tell you every week, we're not expected to be perfect, but we are expected to strive for perfection, all right? Strive for perfection. So what does that mean? We're walking integrally. We're doing the things that we know we're supposed to do because we know to do them. We are getting up every day to walk out our purpose because we understand that we are purpose. Okay? Because you exist, your purpose. What we do is every season that we're in, we figure out what part of our purpose fits in that place. All right. So, Meal Prep Monday. And I, how do I say this? I know that I'm in a space. If any of you all see me on social media, I don't post a lot, but I did make a post where I said 53 looks good on me. And so at 53, I'm being intentional um, to live this journey because the journey's going to end. And so at the same time, I'm trying to pull up my notes. Let me find them. At the same time, we've been talking about true self versus false self for, I know, good into last year. But I wanted to explain why in this season of my life I feel this way. And what I've come to, even for myself, I wrote this down for me. It says, your true self is who you are when you are living from God's design, from Jehovah God's design, and healed identity, not your survival story. And I had to write this for me because what I'm learning, and it's Meal Prep Monday, what I want you guys to focus on this week is understanding that through this journey, things have happened that put us into a place of survival mode. Okay. If it's trauma, if it's, feeling like, things have happened. So now you have to guard yourself. You have to walk and you feel like you have to protect yourself. All of this is not your true self. Your true self is who God literally created you to be before you were even in your mother's womb. All right. So, in order for us to get back to our true self, we have to first recognize that. Okay. No one is exempt from living in survival mode because it just kind of comes with the journey. And just because you've had to adapt um, this mindset, it doesn't mean you're sinful. I think that's another thing. Like I'm learning at 53, okay? I understand that things that I do to get through day to day, I have created a pattern that was built from wounds. It was built from the environment that I've been in. It was built on uh, unhealed pain, pressure. Like I've, I'm understanding that I got a lot going on all the time. Okay. And in this season, I'm intentional to find my true self. I want you to be intentional to find your true self. What does that look like? Okay. What does that look like? You got to first recognize that your false self, lay back down. Uzo, lay back down. Your false self is like, well, for me, I'm realizing that part of my survival mode is I've shrunk back. I shrink back my needs. I overfunction. I don't sleep a lot. I carry emotional responsibilities for grown people. Like they're not mine. Like all of these things I'm having to learn. I don't have to explain myself. I'm grown. All right? There are people in my life that I'm accountable to. There are people in my life that of course there's accountability. I have a whole husband. Yes, I talk to him and I have to share things with him, but I'm understanding that that's not my true self, in the fact that I feel like I have to do that with everyone, or I feel like I have to shrink back. And some of y'all may not even believe this, because people who know me, they look at me like I'm so strong and I'm this and I'm that. Yes, I really do shrink myself back. Okay. I really do it, right? But what I'm having to do is be okay to put me first. When I talk about 53 looks good on me, whatever age you are, I want you to be intentional for it to look good on you. Why? Because you're willing to do the work, to go to the root of the things that have you in a place where you shrink back, where you feel guarded, where it takes you from feeling safe. Listen, this journey, we're all given it. And we all know that the journey's going to end. Okay? You've got to be at a place, especially now, where if you believe your footsteps have been predestined, they've been preordained, then every day is great. Every day you win. I say it all the time. It's a fixed fight and we win. So in every day, even if the day brings pressure, even if the day you have things that you're going to face and they may not be what you want to face, you got to know that nothing happens by chance or surprise to God, just to us. So there is a way. And in your true self, everything that you need to win this race is already in you. What happens is, as we've walked this journey, and the longer you've been on it, the more things can pile up. They can pile up against you. All right. But everything that you need to make it through, whatever you have to go through, good or bad, it's already in you. What we have to do is we have to be intentional to find that little thing right there was the dog. Literally, his face was right there. Anyway, we have to find what we need in ourselves. Okay. How we do that is we're intentional to be relational with who created us. There's no other way that we can go into our true self without having relationship with who created us. Period. I don't care what you believe. I don't care what this is not a religious conversation. It is a relational conversation, because you have to have relation with the one who created you. You can't find your true self in a wholeness without it. Okay? So, what am I doing? I am in a place because what we think affects what we feel. All right? So, it's not only just about shifting our mindset, you've got to start paying attention to your body. Okay? I don't get enough sleep. Yesterday, I came in here, there was so much I needed to do, but my body just shut down. Like I think I fell asleep around 4. I got up around 8. I was up for about 30 minutes. I fell back to sleep. I think the next time I got up was around 3 or 4. I started to pray. I fell asleep. I woke up every hour. I was praying. But one thing I realized is, girl, and this ain't even deep, you're just tired. How about that? Your body is tired. You've got to understand, you can wear yourself out in your mind, your body will be wore out. All right. When you're in a place where you're finding yourself, it's Meal Prep Monday. I'm just talking about me, right? But I'm sharing it with you because we all need to do it. You've got to get to a place where you start listening listening to that inner me, listening to your body. You've got to be healthy all the way around. Okay. And you have to know that in doing this, it's for the good of you. I want 53 to look good on me, but I understand that I don't want to dress the outward up. Okay. I want it to come from inside because I'm plain Jane. All right. I'm not really the makeup chick and all of that. I don't wear a bunch of flashy stuff, never have, probably never will. But when you start building the inside of you, the goodness of that, it radiates to the outside. And then whatever you choose to add to your fleshly coat, it just enhances what's already there. Does that make sense? So, Meal Prep Monday, I want you to be intentional. Now, how does this fit into the meal plan? How does it fit into the meal plan? I want you to ask yourself, so for the mindset, what am I believing about myself right now? Y'all write this down. Note takers and money makers. All right? Wealth comes from within. You get wealthy inside, the money follows. And I told you 2026, I don't know about you, but instantaneous millionaires is what's being built for the kingdom because the kingdom building is necessary. Okay? So ask yourself, what am I believing about myself right now? Okay? And you have to be willing to shift your perspective and your mindset. Stop, Uzo. Hey, you have to be willing. All right. So you got to go from asking yourself or saying to yourself, um, like when you're having to make decisions, you got to kind of build your mind or your thoughts up. I don't know about you, but I'll tell myself, like, I have to hold it together, or I can't afford to fall apart, or if I don't do it, it won't get done. Like, these are things that I say, I feel, but I'm understanding that that doesn't come from my true self. That doesn't come from who I really am. I am learning to shift my thoughts to I am supported. I'm allowed to be human. I am led, not driven. You hear the difference in that? Because everything starts with the mind. Um, for me, I guess I never realized how overwhelmed I am just about every day, but it has come to a realization for me. So I have to be very intentional to shift my thoughts. I have to be very intentional to shift what I'm speaking out. All right. The education piece. You know, because we're so used to living in a survival mode, you have to know that prayers ain't enough. Okay? We actually need new information to feed our brain. To shift our perspective, I tell you about that neuroplasticity, right? You have to feed yourself new information, which is why I'm changing my verbiage. Okay? So, what does that look like? This is the educational piece. All right. You have to be willing to like be intentional to pay attention to your body, pay attention to your reaction. You have to learn how your body responds to trauma, how your nervous system responds. Like I've noticed that it's sleep for me. Like I'm so overwhelmed through the days, I don't sleep at night because once most people are resting, that's when I can start doing stuff for myself. That's so unhealthy. So you have to be willing to recognize these things so that you can learn how to set healthy boundaries. But not only set them, walk them out. What is a healthy boundary? A boundary that's set for you to be healthy. Not boundaries that are set by people, not boundaries that are set by situations, But when you can really start setting healthy, realistic, boundaries based off of what you need to be whole. Okay? So you have to learn that. You have to learn how your identity needs to be rebuilt. You have to learn that. You're having to learn how to rebuild them off of who you truly are, not who you have created yourself to be. All right? What does accountability look like? Now, your false self, or yourself that has learned how to walk through this journey in like a survivor mode. You know that you've taught yourself how to hide. But your true self invites witnesses. What do I mean? You have to know your accountability. Okay? I tell you all the time, the 3, the 12, the 72 sent out 2 by 2. You have to know your safe place. You have to know. And in that place, you have to learn how to stop hiding from yourself. Your accountability, you have to want people to witness what you're going through, which is why you need to make sure that you have the right people around you. I'm not saying do this with everyone. I'm saying the ones that you're held responsible, or your mentor, your pastor, whomever you have in your life in that moment. Jesus had his 3 where he could be vulnerable and transparent in how he was feeling. You got to recognize who those people are, and you got to stop hiding in that space. Your true self welcomes witnesses because you want to be better. Okay? So your accountability has to look like that in this season. You have to just not don't just look for advice. Don't just look for like someone to fix something for you, but start looking for awareness. Like your accountability should be helping you become aware of things that are hindering you, or things that you do that are not aligned with who you truly are, things that are just not right. Okay? But you don't want to just like, well, how do I fix it? Or, how, someone to fix it for you. You want awareness. You want where, I hope this is making sense, but your accountability should be the one who can say, hey, Nicole, like, girl, what you just did, like, that ain't cool. Now, you always telling me to think the next thought. You got to think the next thought. Did that really help, or did that hurt? It's like that person, that space that allows you to become aware of the things that you um aren't doing correctly, that you're flawed in. Okay? So lifestyle, how does that go into lifestyle? Your lifestyle tells the truth about which self you're feeding. All right? Your life, your fruit, we're known by the fruit that we bear. So is your fruit good, or is your fruit bad? Is the fruit look pretty on the table, but then you wake up the next day and it got mold on it? Or is it vibrant and it's lasting? Is it, because you're known by the fruit that you bear. So your life and your lifestyle shows the work that you're working on. Okay? We have to know that when we come into these revelations, or when we come into these places where we're free, or we have chains broken off of us, prophetic words, whatever these things are, in that moment, it truly does happen. We receive it by faith. But you got to understand that there's a process that your soul still has to go through. It still has to go through it. So that's the process that we should be walking out on this journey. All right. And as we do it, as we're pulling from who we truly are, as we're becoming relational, as we're renewing our mind daily, I should never meet you twice. I told you a mentor said that, and I didn't understand it at first, but now I do, because every day I'm working on me. Every day I'm working to get to identify and live in my true identity. So every day you should meet a new Nicole. You should meet a new version of me. And as I walk this out, my fruit, my life, my lifestyle should bear witness to it. You'll know when I stop, because you won't see any good fruit. Every day is not a good day. So every day my fruit may not be at its best, but it's no different than as you grow into it, it becomes your real normal. I don't even want to say your new normal, because you become more of who you are. So you walk out more of who you truly are in this journey. And this year, this chapter of this journey, I'm just intentional. I I want 53 to look good on me. And when I said it, I'm not talking about, oh, Nicole gonna start wearing makeup and Nicole gonna start doing, no. I'm talking about my true self will come out, and the radiance of that will be the beauty that you see. It's going to look good on me. I'm going to walk in the joy of the Lord because I understand that that's my strength. I'm going to keep the peace that surpasses my natural understanding because I know that it's needed. I want to be kingdom minded and stay there no matter what I see naturally. I operate from a kingdom government, not a natural one. So I can't be moved in what's going on in it, even though I'm smack dab in it. All right. So, Meal Prep Monday, what time is it? 10:23. I just want to encourage you. Ask yourself that question. All right. I hope you wrote it down. Y'all need me to say it again? What am I believing about myself right now? And when you start feeling off, ask yourself that question. Make sure that you're spending more time intentional to align with your true self versus your survival mode self. Because we all had to do it. But there's so much in this journey. There's so much. I pour out um very intentionally because I believe it's what God intends for me to do. But now I'm in a place where I want to be a vessel filled. I want to receive what He has for me too. That's why I said 53 looks good on me, because I'm going to allow the pouring in of Him. I'm going to continue to pour out as He says, but I have to be intentional to put myself in a place where I'm being refilled and I'm being replenished and I'm receiving the things that belong to me as well, and not feel bad about it. Sometimes we feel like we should just be walking around jacked up, or if we're walking in a place of, if someone does something nice for me, I gotta hide it or whatever. Man, miss me with that. Like all that's over, okay? Because we are royalty. We do deserve it. We're not being arrogant or proud because we're learning how to be submissive and humble. All right? So, Meal Prep Monday. That's what I want you to be intentional. I want you to be intentional to love you first. I want you to be who you are unapologetically, because you can. As long as you're doing it in a posture of submission and humility, never arrogance and pride, then you are doing it the way you're supposed to, and you can be who you are. You don't have to do it apologizing. You do it unapologetically, because your posture, your motive, your intentions, they're all lined up in the right way. All right? So, it's 10:26. Anyone have anything they'd like to share? If not, I'll give you 4 minutes of your time. If it be none, just remember to stay humble, stay focused, stay positive. Be the best version of you because no one else can do it. And you are relevant. You are necessary. You're needed, not only to your friends, your family, and your enemies, because your enemies need you too. Okay. But you're needed in this world. Your name matters, and it will be left in this earth when you leave. When you transition, your name is great, and people in the world will know it outside of your little circle. And I call it little because as big as we think this world is, it's not. And you're just as important as a name that goes across the screen. Okay? Now, don't be on the news for nothing crazy, though. We don't want to know your name that way. All right? But your name is relevant, and don't forget it. I am Nicole D. Jones, and I want you to continue to have a fantabulous rest of the day. Smooches.